Hello and welcome to the Queensland Law Society update for Wednesday 24 June 2020. My name's Luke Murphy. I'm the Society President for 2020 and with me today is the Society's CEO, Mr Rolf Moses. Yesterday it was my pleasure to announce that Mr Justin McDonald, a Senior Counsellor with the Society and a long-term Policy Committee member and former Policy Committee Chairman, and a senior member of the firm King & Wood Mallisons, has been appointed to the Council for the remainder of the 2020-21 term. The entire Council is looking forward to benefiting from Justin's contribution to our deliberations over the next 19 months, and I'd like to thank Justin for his willingness to contribute. I would also like to thank all of the profession members who expressed interest in joining Council to fill the vacancy that had been created following the last year's election. Your support and willingness to contribute is very much appreciated by the entire Council.
Luke and I would like to make an important statement with regard to sexual harassment. The press, as we know, has been dominated by allegations of sexual harassment by former High Court Judge Dyson Hayden, and we are reminded by that sexual harassment, bullying and discrimination are sadly and appallingly features of many Australian workplaces. The legal sector is prone to these behaviours, and unlike the general working population, harassment statistics are in fact higher in the legal sector, and this is often due to a power and status imbalance within relationships. Now, QLS has worked actively to promote inclusion, to train on acceptable workplace conduct, and has featured direct topics on prevalence of sexual harassment in the industry, cultural problems and solutions at most of our conferences and CPD events consistently for many years. And many of you know that I have personally spoken and managed training on this topic to hundreds of members right across the state. Very soon, we'll be launching an interactive, confronting, facilitated workshop for all Queensland practitioners on sexual harassment. We're in production now with that program, and this will be rolling out in the near future.
Behavioural misconduct of this nature must stop in our profession. People are being harmed from it. Too many of our profession and our firm's employees fear reporting this type of conduct, and many of the leaders of our profession lack the skills to investigate allegations appropriately, and too many of us are being passive bystanders as this type of harassment is performed. That culture must change. If you have been harassed or if you have observed harassment, contact the Society or the Legal Services Commissioner. Bullying, harassment and discrimination are unlawful and are a breach of the Australian Solicitors' Conduct Rules. If you are struggling as a result of unacceptable workplace behaviours, seek help. Contact Law Care, speak with a colleague, or contact us at the Society. Together as a profession, we can change our culture for the better and the benefit of all members.
Thanks. We really just wanted to quickly talk about Queensland Government grants. Now, Queensland Government is releasing a second round of $100 million worth of grants for small business COVID-19 adaptation grants, and they're opening on the 1st of July. Now, you'll know that the first 100 million round of grants was fully subscribed in just 4 days. So if you're going to apply for the second round, you need to apply early to business.queensland.gov.au or the links that the QLS will provide on the day that the grant opens. Eligibility criteria include suffering a 30% decline in turnover in at least 1 month due to COVID-19, must be employing less than 20 staff and have a payroll less than 1.3 million. The grants range between 2,000 to 10,000, but can't be used to fund wages. If you were successful in getting some funding in the first round of grants, well, then you're not eligible for round 2. If you did apply in round 1 and were unsuccessful, that you'll have to make a new application now for round 2. So be aware of that. So I urge any law firm that's been severely impacted by COVID-19 to consider applying for a grant expeditiously on July 1, and look out for correspondence from the Law Society, which will have links to help you with that process.
The Society's policy team and policy committees have continued to liaise and consult closely with the Department of Justice and Attorney General. We are very close to the finalisation of the COVID-19 emergency legislation and regulations. The final piece of that legislative framework we expect to become operational very shortly. On behalf of the profession, I would like to thank the Attorney General for the extensive consultation that her department have entered into with the Society throughout this period. And I'd also like to thank the Society's policy team and the members of the profession who are members of our policy committees for their incredible contribution to that consultation process throughout the last 3 months.
Don't forget also the continuing outreach that the Law Society is providing as part of its Phase 2 support to the profession. We are actively providing free legal advice services and guidance in 3 categories: Employment Law Advice Service, the Government Funding Assistance Service, and the General Management Support Service. If you're thinking you need support in those areas as a result of COVID-19, please contact us. In addition, starting in the new financial year, just around the corner, we're launching our practice management consulting arm, which will aim to visit hundreds of law practices over the next financial year to provide guidance and support to help you manage the road out of COVID-19. The support will be provided by expert staff at the Law Society on practice management, as well as individual members from our senior counsellor cohort and other senior practitioners who will join with the Law Society to support members through direct practice support consulting visits. If you're interested in receiving a visit, you contact please our Ethics and Practice Centre via the normal numbers available on our website.
Just as Rolf has addressed the Society's moving post-COVID-19 lockdown, it is pleasing to also see that the courts and tribunals, both federally and state jurisdictions, are moving back to a post-lockdown normal operation. We are starting to see the reintroduction in a phased manner of jury trials, and also of the face-to-face appearances and taking of evidence in person. And that is being combined with the ongoing operation of some of the virtual technology changes that we saw put in place as a result of the COVID-19 restrictions. I would like to thank the courts and tribunals and their leadership for the way in which they have continued to work with the profession to ensure that all jurisdictions continue to operate. Can I once again encourage all members to provide the Society with your feedback on what COVID-19 inspired changes you would like to see embedded into daily practice for the future, particularly things like the virtual technology, which has had such a positive impact on access to justice for the broader community. I look forward to receiving that feedback, and thank you for your ongoing support of the Society.